Hello friends, it's Dandylion here, another episode of Crusader Kings Let's Play, and I wanted to talk about the settings menu for just a moment here, because I feel like maybe people don't check these out very much, and they're actually kind of useful. So you can change the difficulty. I don't recommend you do that unless you really want a challenge. Normal difficulty is pretty difficult as is, so that would be a way to do it. But I believe you can go up to easy. Yeah, there's an easy and a very easy. But normal difficulty is where I usually stay at. There's also, you can change the interval for autosaves, and I'm going to do that this time because I remember when we were doing it before, every year seemed kind of ridiculous. So I'm going to set that to 5 years. And you can also say autosave the cloud, which is kind of useful if you use it. And also there's a lot of resolution options. However, if you want to change your resolution, I don't recommend doing it through this menu. I actually recommend doing it by altering the settings file, since it's just a text file. And you can, for example, change it before you launch. It's really useful to do that, and there's a lot of tutorials online that if you just search for Crusader Kings settings, resolutions, and there's a lot of performance tweaks. For example, if you don't have a very powerful computer, you can turn off all of the water. So it'll just be like this kind of black mass here, so you don't get this like shimmering here on the right side here. Um, and it will that really helps speed up the processing on this. As well, you can turn off trees, which also increases the speed. So there's a lot of things you can do to kind of help the performance of the game through that little settings file. As well as the audio, and actually I'm going to make sure that I turn these back down. I was testing out my microphone before, so but I will actually have the effects volume a little bit so we can hear them. Uh, and then of course you can also change the scroll speed, zoom speed. This is how I usually have it set up, but good to know here. So let's go ahead and load up our last game, which was, I believe, this one. Yes, King Patrick of Munster. Alright. So when last we left, we were able to take over Desmond, and we have a very strong hold on Southern Ireland here. And what we were doing was we were trying to figure out what place to invade next. And really what we would need is some kind of casus belli in order to do it, and we were waiting on our diplomat to be able to do that. He does have a pretty good chance of it actually happening every year. Anything over 10% is pretty decent for it to happen. Um, but if we look, I don't believe we have. Oh, we do have a casus belli here, but we do. But unfortunately, if we do it, it just gives this guy the okay. But we're not the de jure liege of Ossory, so that would actually just give him the place, and we can tell that by looking at the de jure liege, which is the Duchy of Leicester, or the Kingdom of Ireland, which neither of which we actually hold at the moment. Okay. Um, Going forward here, let me just talk really briefly before I start the timer again. I want to talk about the what I'm going to actually be doing here in this, as far as showing you things. I'm going to be just doing these things and talking about them as I go, and like for example, showing you the de jure uh, options. Like I'm just going to do them and then I'll talk about them. So one of the difference between a de jure tie and a like what's reality is, so this is the reality of the Kingdom of Ireland. It is a stratified mess, and no, there is no one king. But by, you know, by the kind of like ancient um, rights of this being one kingdom, people thinking about this as one kingdom, and the traditional geography of the Ireland of Ireland as being one kingdom, it is a de jure kingdom, which means if you control the majority of that area that's being highlighted here, you can then create the Kingdom of Ireland. And if you look here, you have to, like it says, you have to control 51% of its de jure counties to create it. So right now we control 23% of them. So that means that we need to control 7 of them in order to do that. And once we have 7, we can then create the Kingdom of Ireland. And then we have de jure claims on every single one of the other counties, which is kind of nice. Um, so, and then again, you can see here that it has each of the little duchies. So there's the Duchy of Ulster, which has these 4 counties in them. And then there's the Duchy of Leinster, which we were just talking about. There's the Petty Kingdom of Munster, which we control. And actually we have all 3 of. There's the Duchy of Tara, which are those 2. And there's the Duchy of Ulster. Oh no, I'm sorry. The Duchy the Petty Kingdom of Connacht. Right. So the idea here is that we need to just chip away at Ireland as we go on. And actually, if for example our guy dies, or if our dynasty dies off, which I don't know if, let me check here now. We do have an heir, so chances are it won't die off. But if it does happen to die off, like for example if we die and also then our children both die, I will choose. I'll continue this series, but I'm just going to choose somewhere else, and I'll start earlier. So I might like start here in Iberia, or maybe in Italy, or maybe up here in Poland, depending on where. Depending, I don't know if I find a good spot or not. All right, so just so we kind of recap here, our council, we're trying to fabricate a claim in Leinster. My spy master is building a spy network in Ormond because we want to essentially remove the we want to remove this Earl, and we want to have control over this county. And if we look at our intrigue, we actually have a plot to kill his son, and his opinion of us is pretty high because we've had 2 attempts at murdering him and failed. So, and they've both been found out. So, yeah, he does not like us very much. And we don't really have anyone else we can add at the moment, but it being over 150%, that pretty much means that we'll be able to do it. Let's see, what else is going on? We are training troops so we can have a larger levy, because we have a plus 37.5% levy size when we set that guy to do it. We're researching economy, and we're also trying to improve relations with this bishop, the Bishop of Cloyne, Bishop Finn, which we're doing a pretty good chance of. But we want to do that because he is the he is now doing that, so I should actually change it to this bishopric, which is the bishopry there. Yeah. But the reason we're doing that is because we want our bishops to like us more than the Pope. And right now this guy does not. He's at a 33. Yikes. So we'll give him some state diplomacy and try to get him over. Oh, and now we can see that we can create an anti-pope, which is something we don't want to do. But um, it basically allows us to, to have a heresy, for example, like a Catholic heresy, um, and stay, in. It also protects people uh, in our realm from the church, from being excommunicated, from all kinds of things. But it it's kind of a hit. 500 prestige is kind of a hit. So we're not actually going to do that. Um, let's see. What else was I going to show you? Oh yeah, our military is up to snuff. So we're just waiting on having that fabricated claim on Leinster in order to go in, because we don't have a currently a valid casus belli for any of our neighbors except for Ossory, which would just give it back to somebody else. So, and we've tried offering vassalizations to each of these neighbors, and they've all said no. So, um, we just have to wait, and wait we will. And I will speed up the clock here. And if anything comes up, like for example, we have another son, and title loss on succession. Okay, that's problematic. What does that mean? So, if we lose, that's because we have Gavelkind as our succession law. Basically, Gavelkind succession law means that the oldest son, depending on the gender laws. Right now we have agnatic, cognatic, which means that men inherit higher than women do. Um, uh, Gavelkind means that the highest title goes to the oldest male heir, and then all the other titles get split up among all of the heirs below it. So as fast as we can, we want to go over to Tanistry, which we can as soon as we go to peace, and we want to do that as quickly as possible, because that way we can, because Tanistry is kind of like elective monarchy, um, but uh, it it keeps it within the dynasty. Elective monarchy can sometimes get out of your control if you have for example, an empire, and you could lose control of the empire. But if you have Tanistry, it will stay within your dynasty. So it's and I guess we could also set it up as primogeniture, but I'm not sure if we want to actually do that, because that means that all of the other inheritors will dislike it a little bit. But at Tanistry, uh, almost uh, almost all of them will approve of it. It says that changing succession law will displease all vassals. Yeah, it will, but it won't do it too much. And we really do want to change it, because Gavelkind is hard to work around. Um, so hopefully this ends soon. We'll see though. Okay. All right. So one of the nobles might be corrupt. We'll use it as we see fit to see if. Oh, okay. That was probably not a great idea, because he was just killed. The Earl killed him. And there's no proof, so we lose prestige and we lose our spy master, which kind of sucks. Alright, so we need another spy master. Well, this guy will do. I don't know if we really need to build the spy network there. I think more importantly we need to study technology. And I find the best place to throw is usually Byzantium, or Constantinople. but that's not right. So another good place is Rome. Okay. And actually, he's pretty bad. Um, an 11. That's not very good. But hopefully we can find out more here. All right. So, looking at technology here, looks like we can up some of these. Let's up military organization. That'll increase our retinue size substantially. We might be able to afford a retinue now. And let's increase popular customs, which will increase our vassal opinion and improve keeps. And why not? Let's do all of these as well. It never hurts you to increase these, unless unless then you also don't get the wheels spinning anymore. Um, then you would need to spend the entire amount to move up, which can be substantial depending on how many blocks you already have. Yeah, so that's technology. Sorry, this is all going to be kind of scatterbrained, so bear with me. This game lends itself to that. Oh, so we were going to place our spy master, which we already did. Yeah, now we wait. So as far as eventual goals are, if we think about it, one of the de jure things we could do is create the Empire of Britannia, which is all of Wales, England, Scotland, and Ireland together. Okay, so very quickly I had smallpox and lost it. Well, that's good. That's the one of the downsides of going so fast is you can sometimes miss that. And we forgot to check. Oh, club-footed. Oh. Okay. Yeah, remember I was talking about how when you have wards, that they will sometimes come up with these events, and here's one of them. So it gives us 4 options here, and we actually have his character sheet up here. We can see that he already has the kind trait. So for example, this really doesn't help us because he already has the trait kind, so he's not gaining anything there. And his opinion of us going up by 10, that's not all that important. So if we show how virtuous he is, one of our courtiers or whatever, his opinion of him is going to go down by 10 for 5 years. Whoop-de-doo. And we gain 5 prestige. We could just flat out gain 5 piety. But there's a 10% chance that he'll gain envious, which is actually not a great trait to have. It would give him +2 intrigue, -1 diplomacy, and, well, the liege opinion doesn't matter. And then we could also kind of force him to have envious. And since these are opposites, if he gains envious, he's going to lose kind. That's just how it is. The little numbers here that you see, that's that's the grouping, right? That they're opposites of. So, yeah. So there's a 90% chance that he's going to lose kind. So I think the best one for us to do is to take the 5 prestige here. Because he already has kind. And he's actually turning out pretty nice, I have to say, stats-wise. The low intrigue bothers me, but that's okay. How about his potential wife? Stats look pretty good. Alright, again, we just wait here, because... Okay. Event about levy reinforcement, but we're up to full, I think. Yeah. All right, this is important here. Okay, so the Earl of Ormond, the one that we were wanting to usurp, his he died. His son inherited. So what we need to look at here is how many heirs he has. So he has one heir, his sister, and right now our intrigue is at 315%, which means that it's gonna go off. It's just a matter of time. And we don't have anyone to add, but that's fine. So what we have to do is just wait and hope that that happens. Our Chancellor died, but sad times. But we move on. Okay, hopefully you can fabricate a claim here in Leinster for us. Alright, so any day now? Nope, did not get a chance. Okay. Alright, we'll just have to wait. Alright, so they're going to try and kill him by going hunting and making it look like an accident. I want to know who takes a... Oh, a 12-year-old hunting? Yeah, that works. And my wife is pregnant. That's awesome. Nope. Failed to kill him. Alright, but all we have to do is just wait. This will happen. This is going to happen. Here we go with another one. They're going to try and push him off the wall of his castle. Another failure. Okay, it'll happen. Okay, so do we want our son to have arbitrary? Hell no. Arbitrary is not good. So we could either have an opinion plus or force him to get rid of it. Which I think we're going to force him to get rid of it, because it's not a good trait to have. Oh. So we have my daughter, who's in a matrilineal betrothal, who needs some education. So they recommend my steward gets her, but I'm gonna take a look here and see exactly who should. The best is actually to have someone who has your culture, has your religion, unless you want that to change, and also has a high education. So let's sort by culture, so we can see all of the Irish here, which is what we want. And what we're looking for, these are the educations. We want to look for ones with like 4 dots. So like this would be good. And also he's a scholar. But the traits aren't very high, and he's got some bad traits. So that's also going to play a part in it, their traits. So Philip, Mayor of Cork, that's pretty good. Actually, slothful, but that's okay. Also a scholar, also ambitious. I think they picked the right one. So yes. And we get a nice little bonus on his opinion. Entrusted Ward, which is a plus 20, which is kind of nice. And I wouldn't do that with my firstborn, or my heir, or my second heir. But any other children I would. Just because it's not all that important. So, here we go. Another chance here to take out the Earl of Ormond before he becomes of age. And now people found out about our involvement. Awesome. But that does not deter us. We're still... it lowered our plot power. And now Connacht has tried to fabricate a claim on a title that we have, they can go ahead and try to do that if they want. I'm not going to stop them. They can go ahead and declare war on us if they would like. Alright, so here we go. A lot of things happening at once here now that we're moving fast. Alright, so it would cost us 66 gold, which we can spare, and 100 prestige, which we'll get back. And we get a strong claim, which means that my if I don't get it, my heir will inherit the claim. A strong claim can be inherited. A weak claim can only be inherited if you fight for it through war. So we're gonna lose opinion with this Earl, but that's okay because we're trying to push him out. So we're gonna go ahead and use it. So okay, we know that they're gonna try taking the Earl of Ormond out again, and let's wait to see what happens with that. Another failure. That is so disappointing. Alright, let's see if we can add some more backers here. No, not really. Okay, still at 185% though. Alright, another shot here. Failure. Oh my god. Alright, so what I should really check now, because we've had a bunch of failures and a couple of times it has not worked, if that's causing us any problems here with opinion. And we can see that our opinions are not all that great. Well, with our vassals, we know that there's one that's a minus 100. Because he's found out we've tried to kill him 4 times. That's never coming back up again until we actually take over the county here. So here we go, another time. And actually, we're going to wait to use the claim on Leinster until we do that. And actually, we can move him now, and we're going to move him to Ossory. Another failure. This is getting a little out of hand. Let's just wait here. Well, there's some serious war going on over here. Yeah. Alright, so another chance here. Jesus. Alright. I've never had this many failures before, in all honesty. I mean, this is kind of ridiculous. Alright, we did it. We killed the 12-year-old boy. And now, we know that this person is our vassal. They approve of us, but we're the heir. So, it doesn't make any sense not to try and take her out. I know this seems cruel, since she's only 5 years old. But, think of it this way. It's, you know, you're role-playing this guy who wants to become King of Ireland by any means possible. He wants, oh yeah, so he died a quick death. We want that title, and we would look like we're a tyrant if, for example, we just took it over, just expelled her from the realm and all that. But if we inherited it because of her untimely death, yeah, see? Now we've inherited the county of Ormond. I mean, yeah, we killed 2 kids in order to do it. And yeah, we lost some opinion, you know, like the Pope doesn't like us as much, and pretty much everyone else. But that's okay. I don't know how big of a hit we took, but we can take a look. Yeah, we took a -10 hit. But that's going to go away in a while. But the important thing is that we now have control of Ormond. Okay. So now that we have control of Ormond, And if we look at our military, it is now pretty substantial. We can go ahead and just stomp on Leinster. They're already fighting 2 wars. So chances are they don't have their full amount of soldiers, and we can find that by going to the realm tree. And you can see their top levy is 1247. They're not gonna compete. They're not gonna hang with us. So let's go ahead and declare war and claim Leinster with our strong claim. All right. So now we can call in some allies if we want, which no reason not to. Sometimes they'll help, sometimes they won't. So I'm just going to raise the liege levies here, and let's move them over to Ormond. That's okay. At least we asked. Alright, so let's do this, and let's put the right people up front. So we want him to be in charge here, because he has siege leader, which is actually going to be really useful here. And let's put, oh yeah, he's on this side. And let's put us on this side. Yeah, alright. So that'll speed up our, we'll still be involved in the fight, and we could get some bonuses from that. And we'll also speed up the siege from our siege leader. And we'll just sit here and kind of wait. It doesn't look like they have nearly the amount of guys that they must have sent them out to war. Alright, so we've gotten a arranged marriage from the King of Scotland, one of our courtiers, the ex-wife of the dead Earl. She does not like us very much because we've murdered both of her children. Well, her stepson and her daughter. So yeah, it would probably be a good idea for her to head out of town. Alright. Oh, and something I also totally forgot. Now that we have control over another county, we should check to see if there's better people for any of these positions. So, our Chancellor is still the best person. Our Marshal is still the best person. Our Steward is still the best. How about our Spymaster? Yep. And our Court Chaplain. Yeah, definitely. Alright, so we continue with the siege. And excellent, excellent, excellent. If we look at the siege here, this is going to not take very much longer, you know, about 40 days or so. The only time that's really important, so we don't need to assault the holding, we can just wait it out here. The only time it's really important to assault a holding is if you, for example, have a large army of mercenaries. It's just a good idea to just go ahead and assault them if you know that you're going to win. Just because the mercenaries will drain your resources so fast. Okay. Alright, so let's start it back up again, and let's assault Ferns. We took over Lylan, the county capital. Alright, so our son is afraid of the dark. Well, if we... these are always tough, because we want him to gain Diligent, is the best one to gain out of here. Craven is pretty terrible, and Trusting is not all that great, and Cynical isn't all that great either. Actually, Cynical is not all that bad. So here we have a 50-50 of Craven or Diligent / Cynical, which we would be okay with either of those. This one has only a 30% chance of a good outcome, and this one has a 100% chance of a bad outcome. So we'll try letting him handle it alone and hope that we don't he doesn't turn craven. He gains cynical. That's fine. Maybe he'll be a spy master one day. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Alright, so my son is aiming for ambitious. Considering he's my heir, he totally has every right to be ambitious. If he was not my heir, I might try to get ambitious off of him. But since he is, that's the way to go. Because look at that. It's +2 to every stat. That is pretty great. So yes, he will be ambitious. He might end up being the first king of Ireland. Alright, so we are back to... Oh, good. Okay. That means that piece that we joined up with Navarra, that means that once we take over this county, we can change the rules for inheritance. Alright, so we won another siege. We have 1 siege left here for this county. Okay, we got some technology points, theoretically. Looks like we did. And let's actually bump this up to the siege equipment, which will give us another 6.5% or 6.25% siege speed, which will help speed this up. But this will go really quick. When there's that few defenders and it's like a city, yeah, you can see it -16 every 12 days. Usually for a fort or whatever, it's like 4%. Alright, so we got a bunch of gold, and now we can take on this army. And this will actually give us quite a big bonus here. And we'll just demolish this army. And you can see now it's at 95%. We might as well also take out this army too. Yeah, you see now we're at 97. We'll take this group out, and that will pretty much put to bed who controls Leinster. Yeah. Alright, so now we're at 100. And you can see that we had 3 victories, and we had 3 successful sieges. So I'm going to go ahead and offer peace and enforce our demands. He's going to say yes. We're going to gain 100 prestige. We're going to gain the county of Leinster, and he's going to lose 100 prestige. Alright, and you can see that we're still 4 of 6, so my domain can increase still further. So let's take a look at Leinster, now that we have control over it. And see here, Irish Catholic, so that's good. 4 slots. Yeah, okay, so it's pretty... it's okay for what it is. Total county tax of 23.7. Considering that our others are much, much better, that's not all that great. One of the things to look at here is, oh, and part of that is it was just taken over, so that's why it's so low. Yeah, you can see local tax modifier -100. When we go to give out, because eventually we're gonna have more counties than we have domain size for, so we're gonna have to land some of our sons and family members, or even some of our court members. The way to do that is to kind of min-max it, right? To maximize whichever ones we select. All right, so we can lower this this levy here, and we can now change the law, secession law. So I'm gonna go through these really fast, and then I think after we change it, we'll go to the next episode. So let's see here. You can only change one secession law. You can either change the gender law, or you can change the secession law. We have one choice on the gender law to just change it so only males can inherit. That is a terrible thing. Well, I mean, it's not. It depends on what you're going for, but female rulers, while they do get a -10 to all opinion, everyone has a -10 opinion to a female ruler. It doesn't. It's not it's not undoable. Some of the best rulers I ever had were women. Um, so this doesn't really help us much. Um, absolute cognatic, where women inherit on the same laws that we do. We're not Cathar, we're not Massalian, nor are we Basque. So we can't actually change that. So let's look at the succession laws. There's seniority, which means that the oldest member of the dynasty inherits all titles. It doesn't have to be our child, so it can be like our father or not father, but like our father-in-law. It could be or our great uncle, for example. And that's problematic because you're gonna lose people all the time. So, and if we're playing this to get the highest score over the years, we're gonna lose some because it's gonna you're gonna have really short reigns. So you can't really sculpt a huge amount of score like we are with example with Patrick here. Even though it doesn't seem like we are, this number will go up quite a bit pretty soon. There's primogeniture, which means that the oldest child inherits all titles. Um, on the surface, it seems good. The downsides of primogeniture is that if you have sons that are not landed, that don't have landed titles, that gives you a minus, and you'll have these kids asking you for titles. And if you have more kids, you're gonna have more earls, and it's just gonna lead to eventual civil war. Elective monarchy is really nice. The problem with elective monarchy comes when you have multiple kingdoms. So, for example, our long-term goal is to form Empire Britannia, which is Scotland, Ireland, Wales, and England. And the problem with that is that once we have all four of those, if we don't have the Empire Britannia before before it all goes down, one or more uh, of the kingdoms we might lose. So, elective monarchy generally is the one I select if I'm just if I'm anywhere else, right? But since we're in Ireland, we have tanistry available, which means it's like elective monarchy, but it tends to go to the oldest member of the dynasty. Um, but it will, generally speaking, you can still get uh, your guy in. Maybe not with the first secession, but with the second one. Um, what's nice about tanistry too is that if you have an heir who you're like, oh man, this kid is a genius. He's got great stats, but he's like your nephew. You could nominate him since he's in your dynasty, and you could have him be your heir. So I think tanistry is the way to go. There's a couple other ones. There's ultimogeniture, which is the youngest child inherits all titles. Um, I've never actually played with it, so I can't say one way or the other what it's like. But I can tell already that probably like leads to really, or it probably has the same problems that primogeniture has, in that you have to land the other sons, and that can lead to civil war. So we're gonna change. We're gonna select tanistry because um, we're one of the few people who can actually do it. Okay. So yes, tanistry. And we are going to nominate someone, and you can see that we got some negative opinions here. It's a 50, minus 50 from all of our children. Little brat is 2 years old and has a negative 21 opinion of us. But Ager, the guy that we've kind of sculpted to be our successor, we're going to nominate him. Since we're pretty much the only person who can vote right now, that's the way we're gonna go. And you'll see as we go on, especially like 5 or 6 episodes from now when we have a couple of generations gone, that the voting here is going to get really complex. And it's actually kind of a fun thing, but it's unique to playing Irish dynasties. Okay. So that is this episode of Dandylion's Let's Play of Crusader Kings. I'm going to um, start the next episode, and we're going to work on trying to um, try to expand here and maybe get to the point where we can create the Kingdom of Ireland. Okay? All right, so see you later, and thanks for watching.